Hey everybody.
Hello.
We got a new adventure for you today. We are looking for an arch. This arch, the crazy thing about this one is it's a documented Kentucky arch. It's documented as Kentucky 39. It's also known as Goose Island and also Amanda's Arch. But this Kentucky arch is only accessible through Indiana and a park called Falls of the Ohio. Makes sense, right? Well, that's so the crazier thing about this one is that it's only accessible 2 months out of the year, usually from like mid-August to about mid-October. The area that it's in is in the largest Devonian fossil bed in the United States, the largest exposed fossil bed in the world. 398 million years ago, give a second or two, this whole area here was underneath the sea and left a tremendous fossil bed where there's a bunch of trilobites and brachiopods and all kinds of cool fossils, which we'll show you when we're out there. But so the area where the actual arch is, there's some arches and there's also some geocaches out there that we're going to try to find, and we'll show you that as well. But area is typically underwater, and usually around this time of the year, it's like they shut the water off of the floodgates. It's like in this area it dries up and it's accessible. You have to walk across the spillway in order to get to it, but we're going to do all that. We'll show you that on the way there, and we'll show you what we find, so stay with us. So one of the interesting things about Falls of the Ohio, this sign is no joke. They say if you hear that siren, you better be booking it to get out of the fossil beds, because they're about ready to let a lot of water out of the floodgates. But I don't expect that we're going to hear that today. But ironically, if you look across the way here, you'll see this bridge that crosses over the top of the Ohio River. That is a train bridge. And oftentimes what will happen is trains will go through here, and when they go over the top, they'll blow their whistle, and you'll see people panic and run to get out of the area because they're afraid that it's going to flood, and it's actually just a train whistle. So it's kind of a funny thing down here, but if you're aware of it, you know not to worry about the trains going over the top when you hear them blow their horn. So this is Falls of the Ohio, and this kind of gives you an idea. There's quite a few people that are here today, but if you look around, we are actually standing on top of the fossil bed, and through the bridge right there is the city of Louisville. But like right here where we're standing, this is like a great big fossil bed. I believe this is coral right through this area, but this is like the first patch that we've seen. But we're gonna continue on, and when we see more cool fossils, we'll show you. We're also going to show you some arches and some other stuff too, so stay with us. So if you've never been to Falls of the Ohio, this landscape is crazy. I'll say this, it's like if you're hiking here, you watch your footing, because there's a lot of trip hazards, and the terrain is almost like, I don't know, otherworldly, lunar, just really strange. It's like I've never seen anything like it before, never hiked on anything like this before, but it's definitely interesting. So we just found an arch that I wasn't even looking for. So this area is typically, like I said earlier, it's usually underwater throughout most of the year. And I'm thinking that as time goes on, some of these get even more wide than what they were previously. So this one is plenty big enough to be an arch. And this passage is kind of almost like a crawl through space. You can't really walk through there, but definitely could crawl through it. Definitely big enough to be an arch. So unfortunately, that last arch I just looked at, measured it out, and it was too short. It was too short by 4 inches. But this one, I just stuck my hiking stick to measure the opening on this one, and it's well beyond 3 feet. So this one is definitely big enough to be an official arch. Don't know if it has a name, but I'm going to try to climb in here and show you how big this thing is. It's pretty cool. So you can see the other opening of this arch, and I'm in the first opening, so it's kind of like a little tunnel underneath here that the water is carved out. And there's actually, you can kind of see light back in there. So there's even a third opening that's like too big to go crawl back into. But yep, this is an arch. Pretty cool. So I've turned around, and on the inside, looking in, the other opening from the first, what I thought was an arch. It's a little bit too small, but you can see the backside opening. Backside opening is probably big enough, but the other side is not. So this one is, the one I'm sitting in, it's plenty large enough. I'm gonna get some measurements on this thing. So the measurements on this arch were about 58 inches across, and the ceiling is only about 30 inches high. So it's pretty low, but you can still crawl through it very easily. And as I was kind of crawling in to get measurements, I found some rocks that have fossils in them. There's like a one right there. It's like part of a shell, and I'm not sure what kind of the rock this is, but it's pretty shiny, pretty neat. Now, if you find fossils here, you're not allowed to take anything with you. You have to leave everything here. That way everybody else can see the stuff. So don't pocket fossils if you come to Falls of the Ohio. But definitely enjoy it, because it's definitely a neat place to visit. So this is the opposite entrance to the arch that we just found. This right through here, I'm not even going to attempt to measure it, because it's got to be well over 5 feet across. So definitely an arch. Pretty cool. Now, I don't know what this would be considered, Indiana or Kentucky. I think it would actually be considered an Indiana arch, because it's on the Indiana side of the river, and I think that the borderline is like right against the shoreline. That's kind of like where this area is. So it's probably an Indiana arch, but it's still pretty neat. Walking along the way, looking for another arch. Found another fossil. This thing is, it looks like it's a piece of coral, I think. It's an angular rock. Pretty neat looking. So after the last arch we found, we decided to look and see if there was a geocache in the area. And we found this trail. Kind of follows along the edge of the river, but it's back in the shade of trees. So I don't know what this trail is called. I have to do a little bit more exploring and find out what it's called, but it's a nice little trail. And Jeannie has found the first geocache for the day. Is there anything in the box? So the geocache has just got like a little waterproof box, and on the inside, it's got like a Ziploc bag with a log where you can put your date and name. And it has some kind of a, looks like
chip on there from 2012.
You know, some kind of a poker chip inside the box. And it's like, if you have any knickknacks, you could put it inside the box. Leave it in there for the next people to find. But that is a geocache. So we're working our way back towards the spillway. And Jeannie climbed in this little area that kind of looks like an arch. And there is another opening on the inside of it. This opening is plenty big enough to be an arch, but the outer opening is too small. It's below 3 feet, so probably doesn't count, but still pretty neat. So we just found more fossils. I'm not really sure what this is. It almost looks like it's the tail of something, but I mean, right around this area, there's like all sorts of little fossils in this section. It's really neat stuff. And we have ourselves an arch, because this opening on this side is longer than my hiking pole. It's just kind of obstructed view because of the rocks are in front of this side, but the other side you can see plain as day. So yep, here's another arch. So this arch was not hiding at all. And while working our way back along the riverbank, we saw this one straight up. I believe this one is, I have this one listed as Falls of the Ohio 5, but yeah, you can see pretty good size opening. It's an arch. Pretty cool. So right there, down at the bottom is where Falls of the Ohio 5 arch is. And right here is another opening. That's Falls of the Ohio number 6, right next to it. So we just found another arch, and I have this one listed as Falls of the Ohio number 1. There's more here, but we're gonna try to work our way over to Goose Island and see if we can't find Kentucky 39, Amanda's Arch, Goose Island Arch, whatever you want to call it. So no, this is not the Falls of the Ohio, although we're on the shore of the park. It's just like a section where the water comes through pretty close to the spillway. Actually, what's left of the Falls of the Ohio is further downstream of the opposite end of the park. I don't know if we'll make it down there today, but if we do, we'll show it to you. But I thought this was pretty interesting, the way the water came through and how the rapids looked. So we found another arch. I believe this is Falls of the Ohio number 3. And there's another one over here that is kind of hidden behind this big old bush right here. Okay, this is Falls of the Ohio number 2 arch. And right there, underneath that big weed bush, whatever you want to call it, is the second opening, but both of these openings are easily over 3 feet across. So it's an arch. So we walked over to get onto the spillway to get over onto Goose Island, and there is so much water spilling over this dam right now. This is the waterway that we got to cross in order to get over there. And it's not happening. Not today. But that's just too rough of water to try to get across, fortunately. Not sure why. It's like gates are supposed to be low, but man, it's really flowing over here pretty hard. So I guess we'll have to try this again another day. That's too bad. So since we couldn't make it over to Goose Island, we decided to stop in Lewis and Clark Park. This is where the old homestead used to be, but unfortunately it is burned down and long gone. But we are standing above the Ohio River, and that is the McAlpin Lower Gates. And you can see how much water is flowing out of the bottom of it right now. It's pretty amazing. So we continue to walk through the park, and we did find the site of the original, what we believe is the Lewis and Clark cabin that had burned down. Fireplace is still there, but the cabin is long gone. There is a little wooden cabin behind it, and I don't know if this is the George Rogers Clark cabin or not. There's no signage by it, but I'm guessing that that's probably it, because I heard that it's still intact. But pretty neat either way. Wish we could go inside it. So just a few steps away from the remnants of the Lewis and Clark cabin, we found this overlook and get a perfect view of downtown Louisville. Pretty awesome overlook from this spot. Had no idea this was here, but a little bonus on our hike today. Everybody.
Hi.
So we just got done with our hike. Did about 4 miles, a little over 4 miles between Falls of the Ohio and Lewis and Clark Park. We did not be able to make it over to Goose Island as we had hoped due to the high water. Trying to get over to the spillway was
there's no way.
It was nearly impossible. I mean, it's like now maybe if you were dressed in gear where you could wade through some of that stuff, you could probably do it, but we aren't. So we said, yeah, not this time, donkey. But we'll try it. We'll try it next time. But still, it's a pretty neat area. Really
neat to see the fossils. I mean, you could go hours and hours looking at fossils.
There's so much. I mean, the fossil beds are really cool. I mean, and it's just a huge area that's covered in fossils. It's like, and the fact that we found rocks inside the arches that had fossils in them. It kind of gives you an idea of just like how many fossils are at Falls of the Ohio. It's crazy, but it's really neat to see. It's definitely worth your time to explore the park. Definitely a good hike, and if you're an arch hunter, there's definitely quite a few arches to find. It's like there's quite a few like right along the riverbank, and people stand on them and they don't even know they're there. They don't even look. But anyway, that's going to do it for this adventure. If you like your adventure, please give us a like and subscribe. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.